Hey guys, how are you? This is Mr. Argueta coming to you week number 6. First and foremost, I want to apologize that I didn't get a video out to you. Last week, I got busy with early registration for our returning students and hadn't been able to sit down and actually make the video. So I want to get this video out to you. Of course, yesterday was Juneteenth, so we were off and wanted to take some time off. So I did, and I want to get this out to you as early as possible. By the way, this is take 3. So I've already recorded 2 of these videos. Somehow they froze up on me. So now I'm using my cell phone to try to get this up and load it for you. So last week we talked about Eagle Man, an insurance company out of Chicago in the early 90s. And you saw the commercial, pretty corny. By the way, join a cup of coffee here. Essentially, what we saw was a company target a certain demographics, which is what marketing does. You got companies that start up and they don't know who their customer is, and they'll do like what would be considered like a shotgun advertising attempt. They'll just throw out a bunch of stuff and try to figure out who is a common customer for them. But the good companies that actually understand their business and their customer, they target that customer, and they look for that specific customer to come to, their store, their business, their site, their whatever it is. A few years ago, I think I had a student that was making air fresheners and car fresheners, and which I thought was an interesting concept, interesting business, and she was doing it from home. It was sort of a hobby, sort of a on her own type of thing. Nevertheless, it's a business, and you have to consider it a business. And my advice would have been like, who's your customer? Who's buying from you? And a lot of times when you first get started with stuff like that, which are products, you target your family because they're going to try to help you out. But then you try to figure out who's the person. And of course, one of the easy and obvious things are people who have a car, people who drive a car or a truck, a SUV, whatever. But then you think about the sense that you're offering and who would be that person, Here recently, I went online to try to find a scent for my car. And I came across a company that sells scents that smell like popular colognes. I particularly use a cologne called Sauvage, and they had a similar scent of that to be a car freshener. And I thought, what a great concept, right? So that person obviously is not targeting women. They're targeting men that wear that cologne and like it, and they want their car to smell that way. So that's something that's easily done now, especially in social media. Social media allows you the opportunity to narrow down who sees this advertisement, who's the person that's going to watch this. So I'll give you an example. When you talk about social media as a whole, there's all these different options. Of course, you got the Twitter and the Facebooks, and then you have Instagram and TikTok and Be Real, and you have Snapchat, and you have all these different platforms that people use. But surprisingly, those platforms attract a certain demographics, a certain age demographic, certain people. So GNTC understands that, and GNTC uses that to their advantage to target who they think is their populace, their people. So if you've been on Instagram, you probably seen a GNTC commercial, and that's done on purpose because when you signed up, you said who you are, what your name is, of course, where you're from. You put in your age, you're female or male, and that information then is essentially used to sell to people like GNTC, so then they can target who they think is the most receptive to their message. Excuse me. Guys, that's done across the board. This is a science. It's not just a guessing game. So political ads, when they see the algorithm of you watching certain videos or certain things, they give you more of that because they assume that that's what you enjoy. So it's always interesting when I hear people go like, my God, I keep getting the same thing over and over again. Yeah, because that's what the algorithm has figured out is your interest. Um, if you're into fashion and you're always looking at fashion sites, then they're going to give you more and more of that. If you're looking at motorcycles, then they're going to give you more and more of that. Here recently, I started, detailing my car, and I started looking at products, waxes, and things to detail my car. And guess what pops up as a constant commercial or video or something? Things to detail your car, and that's how it works. So the social media world has transformed how we advertise. In the past, as I told you, Ego Man just put it out there, and they were hoping that the message of a cheap insurance company would resonate with the viewer. But now we've gotten to a point where we have targeted. I'll give you an example of what's even done on TV. Minivans and family cars and commercials of cleaning the products in the house. They're usually geared towards stay-at-home parent, mom or dad or whoever it is. So they're watching TV during the day with their kids. And cereal commercials. Have you ever seen a cereal commercial in the middle of a news report? No, you'll see cereal commercials a lot with younger viewing television shows because they're assuming that the person watching that show would be a client, a customer. If you ever watch the news at like 10 or 11 o'clock at night, you'll find a lot of the car commercials that are played are not cheap cars. They're more of the upper class or nicer cars, better looking cars. They're not your, generic used cars. That's done on purpose. People who watch the news usually are people who are well informed and they know what they want. And a lot of people have, their job established and they target them. Social media gives us an opportunity to target regions as well as other demographical markers, your age, your gender, your likes. If you're every time you see a post a friend does that's about cooking, cooking, the algorithm will understand that you like cooking. So when they sell your information to a company, they're going to say, if that company says, well, I want men and women that are between the ages of 25 and 35 that enjoy cooking, well, you're part of that block because now I can target you and say, hey, here's my cooking channel or cooking services, whatever. And it's more likely that you would interact with my advertisement because you like that stuff. So the point of this discussion is to make you aware that this is no longer just a random thing we do. This is a science. When you start your business, you target your customer. When I started the golf business, at that time, we didn't have the access you do to, sort of narrow down your customer base. But I didn't just go walk into a Walmart with golf clubs and say, hey, do you want golf clubs? No, I had a company, a research company, and I bought a list of all the most likely potential buyers of my golf clubs. And then I drove to those stores and I made appointments with their buyers or their owners or their managers. And I did a pitch, a presentation. And that, of course, increased my opportunities of getting clients. If I was to start a company here in the Northwest Georgia area, and I were to look at a target, I'll give you a perfect example. I seen this just the other day. I all the time would get this before. It's like, I don't understand why they don't have more family activities in these cities. Calhoun has nothing for the family. Dalton has nothing for the family. And what happens a lot of times with businesses is they start something for the family, and then the families show up the first week, and then they don't show up again. And you can't survive as a business if someone shows up once. They got to have a repetitive business or enough clients that come, to the business. So in order to combat that, you do research, you do a SWOT analysis, you do a Pastel analysis, you do these analysis before you start your business, and you say, who is my customer and how do I reach them? And if I owned a jump park or bouncy park or whatever it's called, I'm targeting parents with younger kids because that's who's going. I'm going to the middle school and the elementary schools, and I'm advertising directly to that group because those are the ones that are most likely to come to my business. I'm not advertising to college students. I'm not advertising to Dalton State or Shorter or Barry. Those guys won't come to my business. So you got to know your customer. And what social media does for you is it allows you the opportunity to pinpoint the exact things you want in a customer. So interesting because I want to see how you react to this. Not only after you start looking at scrolling down whatever you do, whatever your app or social media thing, what advertisements are coming up for you. They targeted you. They knew they're targeting you. But also, has any of that influenced you to buy? Has any of that influenced you to, or a review from your friend? Has that said, hey, yeah, my friend likes this, I should buy it? I do a lot of online shopping because I think it's easier, but I buy shoes online. And there's a pair of shoes that I want, and they're called Diodora. They're from Italy, and it's a gym shoe. I enjoy, a good gym shoe. But I remember looking and researching it, trying to find it, and I found it, and I was so excited to get it. And I was excited to go and buy it. And then when I started looking, it's like, it's coming in from Italy. So the shoe is not that expensive, but the purchase it to bring it over is. And when I read the reviews, people were like, you're paying almost twice as much just to ship that shoe here. So, of course, the reviews influenced my decision. It influenced my thought and what I should do. So, for me, it's the reviews are important. Whenever I buy something, I look at what people are saying. Whenever I buy anything online for my cars or clothing, I want to see what they're saying in regards to how it fit, the material, because it influences how I view that product. So I'm interested in seeing what you guys have. I'm excited to read your posts, guys. We're almost done. You got week number 7, which is your 2 chapters in discussion, and then week number 8. It's just your final. So technically, you got 1 week before your final. Guys, please be aware that there is no option for a retake on a final. I hate that, but that's the way it is. The final is up for, I think, a week, and then it's done, and that's it. So please, please do not wait till the last part of the week to do your final. Something always happens. So do your final early. Get it over with. Get the semester done. I think that's it, guys. I have today and tomorrow, and then tomorrow night I fly into New York. I'll be there Thursday doing a treatment, and then I fly back Thursday night, and then back here Friday. So, but if you need me, you know how to get a hold of me. Just email me. That's the easiest way to do it. So, guys, I feel like I'm missing something, but if I am, I'll send you guys an email or something. But if not, I appreciate you. I'll see you next week. Take care. Have a wonderful week, guys.